Hello, Scorpios. Welcome to Souls Intersect. I have your October of 2016 intuitive tarot reading. If you're interested in a private reading, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com, or you can book using the link to my website below. I also want to remind you that I do past life readings in addition to the intuitive tarot readings, and clients really benefit from those. Sometimes they can be even more helpful than the intuitive tarot readings. Okay, so looking at the top row, I want to just go through the cards. There is the Justice card, the Judgment card, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and then on the bottom row is the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. So looking at the top row, I'm getting the impression that I feel that you're coming up as this Page of Cups, and I get the sense that you have put your foot down about something. You've basically, I'm almost getting like an ultimatum. So I feel that some of you have given someone an ultimatum, or it could be just putting your foot down about someone else's behavior. And it very well could be in relation to either another water sign with this Knight of Cups person, or an air sign with this Knight of Swords person. The other thing about those two cards is it could also be representing the same person, but it does feel like another person in your life. Both have their back turned to the situation, and my sense is no matter what sign the person is, I feel that with the Knight of Cups, that the person is also putting their foot down about something and being kind of angry about it and being a bit emotional about it. And then with the Knight of Swords impression, I feel that some harsh words were said, and this person is also defending their side. So I definitely see that a lot of you may be really butting heads with someone this month. This is, it feels like something that's already begun. So I don't think that this is an upcoming thing or a warning of some kind. It feels more like it's already begun, and I would say the judgment has been laid down already. It feels like you've already given the person the ultimatum. And it very well could also be that the decision has already been made about, well, what to do with this situation. So justice and judgment together also could be very much about a literal court case. And in that case, I feel the dynamics are similar, that it's very impassioned and both people are having difficulty seeing the other person's side. But most likely, for most of you, this is more to do with dynamics in a relationship. It does feel like a romantic relationship for some of you, and not quite literally something that has been taken to court, though that could also be the case. And for some of you, it could also have to do with divorce proceedings and not quite being able to come to a consensus. Or if it has been, if the terms have been determined, it feels like it has caused a rift. So maybe there's no going back and changing any of the terms, but it feels like then that the two people are no longer on good terms. So that's the impression I get. But for most of you, it feels like not related to the law or court, and that it may be an ongoing thing, but there's something that came down where you, most likely you, that could be the other person too, gave an ultimatum or said, I need something to be this way, and that some decision has already been made where it didn't go the way they wanted, or it didn't go the way you wanted, and so something changed. That's what I'm feeling. It's also possible that a change hasn't taken place yet, but if that's the case, with the Justice card there, I do feel that it's almost like the other shoe is going to drop. And looking at the Ace of Wands and Eight of Wands, my first impression with those is that, you know, the way I've been talking about it sounds really heated, and it sounds almost like pretty extreme, something maybe even related to a living situation, or how the two people are interacting, but these two cards are bringing in an energy that's showing me it may be a little more minor than that for some of you. It could be like creative differences, but it feels like something came in and really sparked this in some way, and that it just exploded from there. So I'm actually getting kind of two different things. The first one is that the Ace of Wands is really representing that flame that started this. And I'm also getting the sense from that there may have been some outside instigator. And that is something to be aware of, because I feel like there may be a way to resolution if you can kind of go back to this, where it started with this Ace of Wands, because that feels to me like the beginning of whatever this argument was. And I see it pointing towards the Judgment card. And so I feel like if there's a way to go back to the root of the problem, you may be able to find a resolution and even forgive each other in some way. But it feels like that didn't happen. It feels like, this one wand just exploded into all of these other wands and made the problem snowball. But also with the Nine of Swords, this tends to be worry, but worries that are, not necessarily unfounded, but probably things you don't need to be worrying about, or worries that are stacking up. You wouldn't need to be worrying about all of them to the degree that you are. And I do feel like that's the case with this situation as well. And that also is giving me the impression that this may be more minor than it sounded at first, especially when we mentioned the law or court cases. It can sound pretty extreme. For some of you, that actually may be the case. Some major things may be at stake, and that's kind of what I mean. But I also feel that for some of you, it may be more minor. And I am hearing creative differences again. So the other scenario with this is that it could be a business partnership, differences with a business partner or a group of partners. And that also could be related to a real court case or a lawsuit, but it feels more like something just blew up. Things were going smoothly, and then something sparked this major difference, and that just exploded from there. And it feels like it's something that has been really stressful for you and that you've been carrying with you. So I'm also getting a different situation that I'm seeing here through the cards is, I feel that the Knight of Cups person feels to me like I'm seeing them as two different people, these two knights. I do feel that you are the Page of Cups. You may very well be dealing with some people that are older than you, but in this case, it feels like there's a difference with parents, and that they may be actually going through some sort of, maybe a divorce. So something where a judgment needs to be called and justice needs to be served, something along those lines. So it could be as extreme as a divorce, but it could also be something between them. And I feel that you're caught between them. And I also feel that you're taking on a lot of responsibility to try to resolve this. I see you kind of looking towards this Judgment card. And both of them, what's interesting is that number one, with the Nine of Swords there especially, I don't feel that you need to be taking on this responsibility the way that you are. You also could be playing some kind of mediator between two other people. It may not be parents. And so I feel that you don't need to be taking all of that responsibility. Number one, because I think that it's too much for you. The Page of Cups, from that I'm feeling like you're getting a little bit weighed down emotionally. It feels to me like it's taking its toll on you on the emotional level. But the other reason that I don't feel you need to be taking on this responsibility is that they're not paying attention to what you're doing. They're not willing to hear you out. They're not willing to see each other's side, nor are they willing to see how you're trying to mediate this. And that feels to me like maybe taking a step back and revitalizing yourself. It's not the King of Cups or Queen of Cups where I feel like you're in that mastery, that mastered space of your own emotions. of handling your own emotions. And I'm not saying that you're acting emotional or doing anything that's emotionally immature, but I feel that it's just down a level, that you're, in this case, the page feels to me like it's coming up, like, as I said, more to do with being your emotions weighing on you a bit too much. And so I do feel like if you're playing a mediator in some way, that you do need to take a step back and revitalize yourself. Okay, so I'm going to stop this here. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com or leave comments below. I hope you have a very happy October, and I hope that you find this resolution and are able to find something soothing and comforting to help you with perking up on the emotional level and also calming down from some of these worries. Thank you, Scorpio.